Kazakhstan is actively involved in the development of the trade corridor between the East and the West. This was opined by Secretary General of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, Mukisa Kitui. He said that Kazakhstan is a leader among the post-Soviet states that is making efforts to develop regional economic integration. The expert highlighted that the republic has an advantage of high investment attractiveness. Foreign business people are willing to do business in Kazakhstan in different areas.
Kazakhstan has been a leader among the economies that used to be in the Soviet system, which have this economic regional integration effort in emphasizing the importance of competition law and competition authorities. This has been very important, and it's very, very important in building a competitive environment for doing business. That's one important leadership. But the second is what I mentioned, the customized work of Astana One is an example that all your neighbors are now asking us on how they can have something similar from Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. They are all interested, and even Belarus, not only in emulating the steps taken by Kazakhstan, but even the possibility of a regional center on customs management and automation for the region to be based in your country. This is an important area of success in our partnership. Similarly, the dialogue on how to facilitate unlocking the potential of landlocked countries. Your country has been hosting meetings for landlocked developing countries, dealing with transit traffic, infrastructure for regional integration in the areas of Central Europe and Western Asia.
Kazakhstan's producers are building exports. A rails and beams manufacturing factory in Aktobe exports its products to Afghanistan. Last year, the sites concluded a major contract which covers the exports of 330 tons of unique, differentially strengthened rails. The volume will be increased to 5,000 tons by the end of 2019. The products of the Kazakh manufacturer are of high quality and comply with all standards. We're planning to export nearly 3 to 5 tons of rail since Afghanistan's market is growing. The new railroads are being constructed. Afghanistan is willing to cooperate with us since the factory's location is very convenient. The rails and beams manufacturing factory in Aktobe exports its products to Uzbekistan, Belarus and Kyrgyzstan. The factory's management is planning to start exports to Tajikistan, Georgia and Ukraine. Negotiations on cooperation with Western Europe and the EU member countries are continued. Entrepreneurs in Uzbekistan are interested in cooperation with the Astana International Financial Center. For example, they're planning to bring their securities to the international market through the Kazakhstan Stock Exchange. This was announced at the 26th KAMKA Regional Forum in Tashkent. The event was an important one for Central Asia, Mongolia, Caucasus and Afghanistan. More than 300 guests from 20 different countries took part in the forum. The experts discussed topics related to regional trade, transport and transit. They also spoke about the possibilities of attracting investments. Proposals for development of human capital and education have been made here. The KAMKA Forum is a very large-scale event. It includes economic, trade and investment topics, but also cooperation in education, science, culture and politics. Therefore, a discussion of a wide range of topics is very interesting for the forum participants. Today, we are negotiating with 5 publishers from Uzbekistan who, first of all, have shown confidence in our infrastructure and legal area. Moreover, they are interested in accessing the target audience of investors via our financial center. Tajikistan is increasing its cherry exports. One of the largest gardens in Tajikistan is located in the vicinity of the Gisar city, 1 hour away from Dushanbe. Chinese businessman Kang Zhongyi decided to start his own business here 20 years ago. 40,000 cherry trees were planted on the territory of his orchard. The Chinese entrepreneur says that the location is perfect for growing cherry. The altitude is 800 meters here. The difference between the nighttime and the daytime temperatures reaches 20 degrees Celsius. There's a lot of sunlight. These factors make this place the best for growing cherries. The businessman has not only invested in the project, but also has brought advanced technologies and his family experience of growing agricultural crops from China. Many people think that the higher the trees, the better they are. In fact, it is necessary to control their height and cut them in time. Trees need a lot of space. Then the berries will grow larger and tastier. It will be more convenient to collect the harvest as well. The cherry is sorted, packed, and immediately transported to the airport. Within a day, selected berries will be purchased in China or Russia, which are the main importing countries for the Tajik farmers. The good taste and affordable prices are not the only secrets of the success. China's Belt and Road Initiative expands opportunities for cooperation, including those in agriculture. Tajikistan was one of the first countries to join the project. The country has already been seeing the benefits. Kazakhstan is taking leap steps in development of a high-tech sector, the space industry. Recently, a modern space infrastructure has been created in Kazakhstan. A breakthrough has been achieved in the development of domestic space technologies. Nobel Prize winner George Smoot says that the number of discoveries in space industry is breaking records in the recent decades. For example, the researchers of the Energetic Cosmos Laboratory of Nazarbayev University are developing detectors that record signals from space. With their help, new cosmic discoveries can be made, the researchers believe. There will be more upcoming achievements in the Republic. An international center for study of the universe and outer space will be created in Kazakhstan soon. Kazakh and foreign scientists discuss this opportunity in Nur-Sultan.
One of the things that we do is we have a network of universities around the world, and we invite people from Kazakhstan to come and work in the labs there and then go back. So we've had them come to Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, to Paris, and to Hong Kong University of Science Technology. And we also have people from those places come to work here in Kazakhstan, because many of these projects, like the gravity waves or like the big project we're doing to look for the evidence and the sound waves in the early universe showing up in the distribution of galaxies, there are big international collaborations.
The world's fastest telescope will start working in the country this upcoming autumn. It has been installed in the Kazakh observatory on the Assyturgen Plateau. Now test works are continued, where scientists from other countries can have access to the online snapshots in the scheduled time. The device, with a 70-centimeter diameter lens, is a development by the scientists of the Energetic Cosmos Laboratory of the Nazarbayev University.
Особенность этого телескопа, как я уже сказал, он самый быстрый в мире.
This telescope is unique since, as I said, it is the fastest in the world. There are events that take place in space very fast. They are short-lived. An ordinary telescope will take time to detect them. This telescope is included in the general system of telescopes which are ready. For example, a signal comes from a space satellite that a flash of the above norm has occurred. The signal comes in 10-15 seconds. During this time, the telescope manages to turn in the right direction, open the cap and the telescope building, and see what it needs. In just 10 seconds, we managed to do it. In this respect, this telescope is the fastest in the world. Kazakhstan is a space power. A full cycle of the production system is being created in the Republic, including the launch of spacecraft into space, scientific missions on the International Space Station, and the rocket manufacturing. At the end of this year, the spacecraft assembly and testing facility will be opened in the capital. For the first time in Kazakhstan, private businesses have got an opportunity to send documents to government bodies electronically. The unique Documentolog platform allows cutting the red tape and automating the processes.
Каждый месяц подключаем по 8-10 компаний
Every month, 8 to 10 companies start using the software to conduct correspondence with the government bodies. We receive requests almost every day. Since January, nearly 100,000 documents have been sent and received through our electronic document exchange center. Companies that are already using the platform include the business community, the Almaty National Chamber of Entrepreneurs.
Пользуются это вот Национальная палата Атамикен, это вот бизнес-сообщество.
Prompt delivery and transparency are the main advantages of the electronic interaction with government bodies. Clients of the Documentolog do not need to go through accreditation of the information and checking its security. Since the company has carried out all these works, users need to send a request on the company's website to activate the service.
Используются дополнительные VPN-каналы.
There are additional VPN channels that are used for interaction which have increased security requirements, including encryption using an owner's electronic digital signature. No one can hack the data. Last year, Documentolog was recognized as the best IT company for contributing to digital transformation in Kazakhstan. Kazakh capital hosted the 4th Great Steppe Humanitarian Science Forum themed Turkic Civilization from Origins to Modern Days. Approximately 250 well-known scientists and prominent public figures from 21 countries of Europe and Asia and the Americas attended the event. The goal of the event was to promote the history and the culture of the Turkic people to the whole world and introduce new data in the global science community. Based on the initiative of the first president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, the Turkic Academy was established in 2010 and was granted an international status within the 4 years afterwards. In the past 2 years, more than 40 projects have been implemented on the history of the Turkic nations in cooperation with the United Nations, UNESCO, and other international organizations. This year marks the 750th anniversary of the establishment of the Golden Horde, the 750th anniversary of the Mogolistan and Talas Conventions, the 950th anniversary of Yusuf Khas Haji Balasaguni's Kudat Kubilik, and 650th anniversary of Great Shair Nasimi. To mark the 750th anniversary of the Golden Horde, we have published new manuscripts. Almaty is leading in attracting foreign tourists in Kazakhstan. More than 90,000 tourists have visited the city in the southeast of the country within the first 3 months of this year. The number is 46% higher than last year. The tourists are especially attracted to the Medeo High Mountain skating rink, the Shimbulak Ski Resort and the Sharon Canyon, Altyn Yemel National Park and Kolsay Lakes. Sports events such as the Futsal Champions League and the Almaty Marathon have had a positive effect on the growth of the tourism industry here. The tourists visit the cultural events too. This year, Almaty has taken part in international exhibitions along with Moscow, Dubai and Berlin.
Ежегодно проводится более 50 международных мероприятий, такие как...
More than 50 annual international events take place in Almaty. 17,000 participants from 53 different countries in Kazakhstan's 17 regions were in Almaty to attend tournaments and competitions. There are some tourists who have participated in the marathon but also saw the beauty of the city. All these events make a multiplicative effect on attraction of tourists. The ancient Turkistan city is the second most visited destination in Kazakhstan. Construction of the Cultural Historical Visitor Center is being continued here. The two-storied and Oriental-style building will be commissioned in September. The visitor center will be a research facility as well. Historians and archaeologists will conduct research here. The basement will serve as a restoration workshop and a production place for exhibit items. The center will have an archive, a lecture hall, and a central storage facility. The upper floor will include an exhibition space and a conference hall where guests will be welcomed. The main purpose of the center is to popularize the cultural and historical heritage of the country. Kazakh native Aiya Royer makes homemade cookies in Lyon, France. She turned her passion of baking into viable home-based business. She came up with this idea 2 years ago during her maternity leave. The mother of 3 not only bakes cookies but also decorates them. Her products are presented in the city stores and local fairs. Aiya sells 500 pieces per week.
Пряники, само
вкус, запах.
It's all about the taste, smell, shape, and the decoration. There are no cookies like this in entire France. The local people are curious about my cookies. They are new to them. I see the excitement of the kids during my master classes. They paint the cookies with me at home once a week. Aiya is a graduate of the European Higher School of Commerce. However, this is not enough of a qualification for Aiya to open a bakery in France according to the French regulations.
Во Франции открытие, конечно, это очень долгое и, конечно, очень трудное открытие.
Launching a bakery business in France takes a lot of time and effort. They bake a lot here. There are many requirements for starting the business. Education is of paramount importance. It is impossible to succeed without the right education.
Образование было. Без образования французского ты не откроешь ничего, не сможешь ничего сделать. Да.
Aiya has big plans for the future. After graduating from a school of pastry, she's planning to set up a first tea room with painted cookies in Lyon. Kazakhstan has a big potential for development of historical, archaeological and ethnic tourism. These will become the main areas in attracting travelers. First of all, activities in museums will be intensified in the regions of the country. The museums will preserve ancient exhibits and popularize cultural heritage. Resident of the Karaganda region, Jibek has been storing one of the rarities for a long time. This is a saddle that belonged to Kazakh poet Madi Bapiulu. The farmer has restored the equestrian accessory on his own and now keeps it with special care. He says that he's willing to donate the saddle to the museum. The saddle was owned by several people. I inherited it after some time. Some of my visiting relatives often ask me to give them the saddle, but if a museum or a cultural center asks for the saddle, I will donate. It is better to keep the saddle in the museum than it stays at home. This kind of saddle is very rare. Young ethnographers of northern Kazakhstan intend to study and popularize the cultural heritage of their ancestors. For this purpose, the youth squad is heading to an expedition. Earlier, as a result of such trips, it was made possible to restore nearly 200 forgotten recipes of the Kazakh cuisine. This time, the future historians and technologists of the food industry will have to learn the peculiarities of the national cuisine and find ways to prepare rare recipes.
Самое интересное, здесь сохранилась технология стау. С помощью нее, то есть это сохраняются полезные.
The most interesting thing is that the technology of stau has been preserved here. Useful properties of meat are preserved with the help of it. We have recorded a process in the Walikhanov district. In addition, we've recorded interesting recipes such as ukpi, süt, jaujurek, jaubirek, and mujma. To date, our goal is to preserve and record the legacy that may disappear. The research expedition has been organized by the National Museum of Kazakhstan. The philosophical postulate, unity and struggle of the opposites formed the basis for the joint exhibition by famous sculptor and honored worker of Kazakhstan, Vagif Rahmanov, and contemporary artist Nargis Dressler. Vagif Rahmanov is a father of Nargis. At the exhibition, the two artists are showcasing their works reflecting the harmonious mixture of artistic styles. Each of them has their own style of expression. Nargis is interested in the classical symbols of the Oriental applied art. Her main subject is Oriental ornaments and symmetry, whereas works of Vagif differ with a variety of forms. The sculptor uses bronze, glass, and stone in his works.
Этому предшествует восторг от самого города, от людей, от новизны. Культура Востока – это огромная философия. Восток же он бесконечный.
The city, the people, and the novelty inspire us. Eastern culture is a great philosophy. The East is infinite as the stars in the sky. Every time it asks new questions and gives new answers. I love this. It is especially important when you find something in this infinity.
Бесконечность такая подчеркивается. И особенно важно, когда в этой бесконечности ты что-то находишь.
Critics highlighted the level of conceptuality of the exhibition and depth of the presented stories. Vagif Rahmanov and Nargiz Dressler are widely known both in Kazakhstan and abroad. The guests and the residents of the Kazakh capital will be able to enjoy the works of the artists until July 10th.